Are you thinking about investing in property? Always wonder what that would look like? Well, today we're here with one of my investors, Daniel, and we're going to get into all of that. I'm Ellen Mitchell, your heels on the ground, and on this channel we talk about everything probate, guardianship, senior relocation, and everything real estate, including properties for investment. So Daniel, it's great to have you here today.
Hi, Ellen, pleasure.
So Daniel is the buyer of this property. It's a beautiful property, but due to the age of the roof, it is not financeable. So that is one of the reasons that it often makes sense to sell to an investor. But I just would love to talk about your process, what it is that you're looking for, investment ideas that you can put into a property that give you the greatest ROIs.
So with real estate in general, and I think Ellen probably knows this, it's all about location. You know, they teach us the first thing is location, location, location. So we really look to invest in properties in areas that we like and we believe have, you know, potential for growth and that will hold and potentially double their value in the near future. I actually live in the area and I like to drive around and see what's happening, developments and things like that. So I ended up driving past this property and called Ellen, and we had a good synergy, good chemistry on the phone. And by taking a look at, you know, some of the specs of the property, I knew it would be a good fit for us. And then it comes down to the numbers, really.
So what are the things, some of the things about the home in addition to location that make it a good fit?
So it's obviously number one is location, but it also has to have a good bedroom bathroom count. That's typically, you got to think about the end user, right? And what they're going to be looking for. So for example, if you have a home that is quite small and has only two bedrooms and one bathroom, you know, that's an issue. A family of 4 or 5 can't really live there in a normal lifestyle. They're going to be cramped up all over each other, and that's not something that your 2025 buyer looks for. They look for luxury, they look for space, they look for, you know, an experience really in their home. It's a memory that's going to be with them for their entire life. So you have to take all those things into account and see where you can come in and add the value so that, you know, when someone comes in and takes a look at the home when it's redone, they can actually see what they're paying for.
Yeah. And some investors purchase to renovate, rent the property, and collect the rental value. Your model is more come in, renovate, and then sell to the end user, a home buyer.
Yeah, so it really depends on the property. It depends on the market, where it's at. I'm sure you know, you've worked with a lot of investors before. There's no, you know, for us, we take a look at everything. We look at every strategy. The market changes daily. So, you know, if there's something that we like or that we don't like, we might, you know, exit a market and, you know, just sell right away. Or if we really like the market and see potential in it, or in the value of, you know, just the land value, even in 5-10 years from now, then we can rent it out and then, you know, potentially sell down the line. It's actually something that we're doing now in one of our properties in Victoria Park. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Victoria Park's a beautiful neighborhood in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, so what we're doing there is we're just collecting the rent, we're doing small touch-ups, more mainly cosmetic, waiting for the area to redevelop a little bit more, and then knock it down and build something bigger.
And when you are renovating the property, like for this property, what would be the main things you would be looking to do? And what are the things that give you the biggest return on investment?
So it's really case by case. Every property is different, and it depends really also on your budget. How much are you able to spend, what your team is able to do. You know, we have several projects that we do at a time. So sometimes we're more flexible, sometimes we're less, and we got to be in and out of properties. It is case by case, but If I would speak specifically about this home, I mean, the first thing when we walked in, you can obviously see that, you know, you need to open the kitchen up, give it a more modern, open layout, obviously cosmetically improve the kitchen, bring in new appliances, a new paint job, do the bathrooms. You know, these are things that make a home for people. They want it to be inviting, they want to host, they want to have their family, their friends over. So you got to take all that into consideration, obviously.
And when you're doing that, in terms of time-wise, how long, I know every project is different because it needs different things, but some investors are beginning investors, so they're going to buy one property, they're going to renovate it. You have multiple properties going. So what is usually the target for the time frame? Because, you know, time is money. The longer you have the property, you're not reselling it and then reinvesting the money into other properties. So is there a time frame that you're typically looking for?
We like to be in and out of a project within, you know, max 120 days. But obviously, depending on the scope of work and what you're doing, what you're building or adding, can take longer or shorter periods of times. But I'm talking about just strictly a regular single family home, you know, when you're coming in and out, just renovating the inside of the property. That's more or less our timeline. But the good thing is that, you know, being in the business for a while, it's all about relationships, as I'm sure you know. And we have a lot of partners and different people that we work with. So it gives us the ability to take on multiple projects at a time.